Would you believe me if I told you this image could have been real? What if instead of celebrating D-Day, you were living under a swastika flying over the Capitol? In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what the world would look like if Germany had won World War II. And I warn you, what you're about to see will deeply disturb you. But there's something even more unsettling than these AI-generated images, and that's how close it came to actually happening. I'm a historian specializing in World War II, and I've spent months researching declassified documents, actual Nazi plans, and testimonies to reconstruct this alternate nightmare. Because what you're about to discover isn't science fiction. It's alternate history based on real plans from the Third Reich. But first, you need to understand the exact moment where history could have changed. June 1941, Operation Barbarossa. Hitler commits what many consider his biggest mistake, invading the Soviet Union before securing Great Britain. But what if he hadn't done that? Hold that question, because the answer changes absolutely everything you know about the current world. In 1940, the Nazis had a concrete plan called Operation Sea Lion to invade England. They needed only two things: air supremacy and better weather conditions. They almost achieved it in the Battle of Britain. Imagine if they had succeeded. With Great Britain conquered, Europe would have fallen like dominoes. And this is where the images you're seeing become chilling. Albert Speer, Hitler's chief architect, had actual blueprints for this. Hitler's Germania, a rebuilt Berlin as capital of the world. A building called Volkshalle, the People's Hall, so large it could fit St. Peter's Basilica 17 times inside it. Its dome would be so massive it would create its own internal microclimate. It would literally rain inside the building. But what you see in these streets is even more disturbing. Local languages would have been gradually suppressed, forced Germanization policies, millions more deported or murdered. And what they planned for America, I'll tell you that in a moment. But first, you need to see how they would have reorganized the entire world. Nazi documents reveal something few people know: the Global Division Plan. Europe, Asia, and Africa divided into 4 Reichs or regional empires. Greater Germanic Reich, all of Europe to the Urals. Japanese Greater East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere, East Asia and the Pacific. Africa turned into slave farms for resources. And America. This is where things get truly terrifying. The United States would have been completely isolated. No European allies, Japan controlling the Pacific, Germany the Atlantic. Declassified documents show the Nazis had plans for long-range bombers capable of attacking New York City from Europe. The America Bomber project was real. And with nuclear technology developed without opposition, eventually the United States would have had to negotiate a humiliating peace, or face a coordinated invasion from 2 oceans. But let me show you something more visceral. These AI images show what daily life would look like in 1955. Perfect family photographs, but only of certain types of people. Because in this world, millions of people simply wouldn't exist. Eugenics policies would have expanded globally. Not just Jews, Roma, and Slavs. Anyone considered inferior would have been systematically eliminated. Education would be pure indoctrination, every child raised to serve the state. Science, art, music, everything filtered through Nazi ideology. And regarding America, Nazi documents describe a plan called Neuordnung, New Order, where entire cultures would be erased and replaced with German. This would be a world without diversity, without freedom of thought, without democracy, an entire planet under a military boot. Now, here's the most disturbing twist. Remember I asked you to hold that question about Barbarossa? If Hitler had never invaded the USSR, all that industrial and scientific capacity would have gone to weapons technology. The Germans already had jets in 1944, ballistic missiles. They were years away from nuclear power, without the pressure of an Eastern Front. They could have developed nuclear weapons first, and unlike the United States, they wouldn't have hesitated to use them massively. This would be a world monitored by Nazi satellites, controlled by superweapons, with no possible escape. But this did not happen, and you need to understand why. Millions of ordinary people, soldiers, spies, factory workers, resistance members, risked and gave their lives to prevent exactly this future. It's estimated that 70 to 85 million people died in World War II. Each one of those sacrificed lives helped ensure that the world you see around you could exist. When you see these artificial intelligence images, remember, they're not just renders, they're a reminder of how fragile freedom is and how close it came to disappearing forever. If this impacted you, share it. This story needs to be remembered. And leave me in the comments what aspect of this alternate scenario disturbs you most. See you in the next video.